Reconciliation with your Father. That is so beautiful. And the son said, well, the truth is, he's worth $6 million. What is Father worth to you? And what do we inherit from our fathers and our mothers? There are some things that a son can inherit, or a daughter can inherit, that is worth much more than money. What you inherit from your parents far exceeds the value of dollars and cents. I want to look at a father that is here in chapter 4 of Matthew. I'm going to venture to say you've probably never heard this gentleman preached about before. Verse 18 and following. While walking by the Sea of Galilee, Jesus saw two brothers, Simon, who was called Peter, and Andrew, his brother, casting a net into the sea, for they were fishermen. And he said to them, "Follow me, and I will make you fishers of men." Immediately, if you have a red pencil, underscore, immediately, they left their nets and followed him. And going on from there, he saw two other brothers, James, the son of Zebedee, and John, his brother, in the boat with Zebedee, their father, mending their nets. And he called them. Immediately, underscore, immediately, they left the boat and their father and followed him. Did you ever think about how Zebedee must have felt? This was a family business. They worked together as a family. They prospered as a family. They depended on each other as a family in the fishing business. Suddenly, immediately, poof, they leave their father all alone and follow Jesus. Zebedee is I want us to look at this day. How did he feel about his sons just up and leaving him? What is it about Zebedee that got passed on to his sons that made them the kind of disciples that Jesus wanted to call? Zebedee must have been a tremendous person. He must have been a wonderful man. One of the reasons that I think that he was is because when you look at a man and you see his wife become a strong Christian person, that may very well say something about the man. Salome. Salome is her name, the wife of Zebedee. We read in Matthew 27 that even at the cross of Jesus Christ, there were also many women there, looking on from a distance, who had followed Jesus from Galilee, ministering to him, and among whom were Mary Magdalene, Mary the mother of James and John, the mother of the sons of Zebedee. Zebedee's wife was not held back by her husband. It is a wonderful thing indeed in your family when the marriage partner does not hold back the other marriage partner from following Jesus. It was dangerous in those days to follow Jesus. It was dangerous to stand by the cross of Jesus, who was dying as a convicted criminal. And yet Zebedee had the kind of relationship with his wife that he did not hold her back, he did not restrain her, he let her become the kind of Christian wife and the Christian mother that she needed to become. He's a gracious husband, and he passes that on, I believe, that trait to James and John, his sons. He was an industrious worker. He did not sit in the easy chair giving orders, but he worked with his sons. He taught them the value of working hard and working together. There is hardly any other trait that is more virtuous or helpful for a father to do than to teach the children the value of hard work. And he did it by example. He did it by working with them, not just telling them what to do. They're working together. They're mending the nets together. They're casting them into the sea together. They're hauling in the fish together. The family business is a family enterprise, father and sons working together. Beautiful it is when families can work together. And I believe that Zebedee passed that kind of trait on to his children, that they were strong, good, industrious workers. In his business, he was prosperous, and we know that because of what we read in Matthew chapter 4, where they are working together. And in Mark chapter 1, we read where he had servants also working with him. To have servants in that day meant he had to have had enough income to be able to pay them, to hire them. And so in this business, he's prospering, and he is sharing that prosperity with his sons. Whatever prosperity that you have, to share it with your family is a beautiful thing. Not to covet it and just hold it for yourself. A gracious husband that does not hold his wife back. An industrious worker who believes in work and teaches his sons that. But then I believe that he had a zealous temperament. Jesus, we are told in Mark chapter 3, nicknamed James and John the sons of thunder. Thunder rumbles. Thunder makes noise. Thunder brings activity. Thunder brings storms. Thunder says something serious is about to happen. And Jesus saw James and John, and he said, you are the sons of thunder. So who is the thunder? None other than Zebedee, their father. A man of fiery disposition, a man of strong backbone, a man who is willing to be zealous, energetic, and he passes that on to his sons. A powerful kind of spirit that made of them powerful preachers. James, his son, is the first Christian martyr named in the Bible. The first one to die at the hand of Herod in Acts chapter 12. The second son, John, outlived and outministered all of the other disciples, for we find him again writing the book of the Revelation in his old age. James and John, they learned what it was to be powerful in their Christian endeavor, to be zealous in what they are doing, and they got that from their father. What have you received from your father? The day that the boys left the fishing nets, the day that they walked away from the boat and left Daddy there, was that a good Father's Day? Zebedee could have reacted negatively. He could have scolded them. He could have pounced upon them. He could have said to them, you can't leave me all alone. You can't give all of this up. You are chasing a dream. This Jesus is just an itinerant preacher who will never amount to anything. You are going off the deep end. But he does not do that. Indeed, Zebedee submits to the will of Christ. And when Christ says, James, John, follow me, Zebedee does not stand in the way. He does not restrain them. He is not negative. When someone in your family wants to follow Christ, when someone in your household wants to serve Christ, and you encourage them, you do not stand in the way. I say to you, the day that James and John followed Jesus was the best Father's Day Zebedee ever had. For he was glad to see his boys follow Christ. You who are glad to see the people in your household follow Christ, you who encourage others in your family to know Christ and to serve him, it's a beautiful inheritance that you can pass on. We can discourage or we can encourage. In your household, is there someone that you can encourage, that you can stand behind, that you can believe in, that you can support? Maybe you can't preach. Maybe you can't go to the missions. Maybe you cannot sing. Maybe you cannot do great, wonderful, showy kinds of things. But you can stand there as a supporter and help those around you to do just that. I think one of the greatest things that a human can do is to have the grace and have the spirit to be able to stay in the background. It's a beautiful thing when you, in the background, are helping, supporting, encouraging those who step out for Christ. Help your boys and your girls know Christ. Help them to serve Christ. It'll be the best inheritance that you can pass on. The best Father's Day, the best Mother's Day that you can have is encouraging those in your household. I look out here and I see people. Some of you, I knew your parents. Some of you, I knew the fathers of your house. I'm so glad to see that you are still serving Christ. You're still worshiping Him. You're still believing and serving